Like everything else in Asia, there are some legends which take place according to the Chinese New Year. And the legend starts with there was a beast by the name of Nian. And Nian would eat the livestock, the crops, and even people on the eve of the new year. But when the monster Nian they discovered was afraid of loud noises, bright lights, and the color red. So the people started to use loud noises such as firecrackers, bright lights, and they put the color red everywhere to chase the monster Nian away. Hi, this is Anita from the Dusty Roads podcast. If anyone is going to be traveling or visiting Asia in January or February each year, they will notice that there's a major holiday that's going on. It is called the Chinese New Year. In China, it's called the Chinese New Year, the Spring Festival, or the Lunar New Year. And in a country like Vietnam, they will simply call it Tet. But whatever they call it, it is a very important holiday that has been celebrated for over 3,500 years. The Chinese New Year time is a very important time for families and friends to gather together. It's also a time of great tradition because the history of the Chinese New Year holiday can be traced back 3,500 years. Even though the customs or practices may have changed over the years, it's still essentially the same holiday as it was thousands of years ago. According to the Chinese lunar solar calendar, the dates will change yearly. So that's why sometimes the Chinese New Year may be in January, other times it might be in February. Usually it will take place anywhere between mid-January until mid-February. And in many countries like China, things may be closed for like 5 days, 6 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Especially if you're in the manufacturing industry as we are, factories can close down. It's not uncommon for them to close down for a month to celebrate the Lunar New Year. Like everything else in Asia, there are some legends which take place according to the Chinese New Year. And the legend starts with there was a beast by the name of Nian. And Nian would eat the livestock, the crops, and even people on the eve of the new year. But when the monster Nian they discovered was afraid of loud noises, bright lights, and the color red. So the people started to use loud noises such as firecrackers, bright lights, and they put the color red everywhere to chase the monster Nian away. So that is why for the Lunar New Year or for the Chinese New Year, you will see the color red, you will hear firecrackers, you will also see bright lights. And it has to do with the tradition of this monster, this beast by the name of Nian, and the fact that by wearing red or having the firecrackers going, it will scare away the monster Nian and will protect you throughout the year. Another one of the traditions that many Asians have during this time of year is spring cleaning. This is a time where they will clean their homes, clean their offices. They will clean to get rid of the bad luck from the last year to bring in the good luck for the coming year. So you will see a lot of different people cleaning. You'll also see, as with any other holiday, there'll be lots of foods or specific foods, or even for some of the countries might be some foods you eat one day, another food you don't eat another day. So there'll be all kinds of different traditions as to the food. There'll be many types of special foods. There'll also be rules for visitors. There'll be some days where maybe you visit the oldest person in your family and everybody goes to visit the oldest person in the family. There will be another day where maybe friends can come to visit, or there might be days where nobody's supposed to go visit. So there'll be all these different rules of when, or traditions of when you should visit who and who you should visit and when they should be visited. So these, there'll be certain days for all of this, especially in Vietnam, where I've lived for quite a while. There'll be specific days or certain times when different people will come to visit or won't come to visit. There'll also be some lantern festivals. The lantern symbolizes the Chinese New Year time. And one of the last event held in the Chinese New Year is a lantern festival where people will light the glowing lanterns in temples and carry lanterns during a nighttime parade. Another thing that you might see during the Chinese New Year is a dragon dance. If you've ever seen a dragon dance, you know there's the drums and the drummers, and there's these long dragon dances that go through the streets. And this is the dragon symbolizes Chinese good fortune. So you often see the dragon dances as a highlight during the Chinese New Year time. You know, many of the parades will feature these long, colorful dragons carried in the streets by many, many dancers. And you hear some of the drummers that will be drumming the drums. I used to have someone that worked for me that was actually one of the drummers for these traditional dances. So, you know, sometimes people will learn about this from the time they're young, and then they will carry it on and continue to be some of the drummers for these traditional dances. As most people in the West know, that each of the different animals, or the different zodiac animals for the Chinese New Year, they will each have like a different meaning to them. And so, you know, this can really be where, you know, people might say like, oh, two people of this animal shouldn't get married because they'll fight all the time. Or, you know, this is a good year for a child to be born. Or this is a good year to start a new business. Or this is a good year to get married. So, you know, many people really believe in these animals. They believe in these different types of animals. And according to what animal you are, according to the year you were born, and according to what year the animal is this coming year. This coming year in 2023 is going to be the year of the rabbit. And so, you know, you will see in all the celebrations, you'll see lots of rabbits. And in 2024 is going to actually be the year of the dragon. And 2025 will be the snake. Well, what's interesting here is that, you know, each of these, you know, the rabbit, the dragon, the snake will all have different qualities or different things about them. So like, for example, the rabbit, those that are born in the year of the rabbit are considered quiet, elegant, and kind, while at the same time responsible. Their lucky numbers is 3, 4, 6. The lucky color is red, pink, purple, and blue. Their lucky flower is a lily and jasmine, and their lucky direction is east, south, and northwest. Now compare this to the dragon. Somebody who is born in the year of the dragon are considered confident and intellectual while simultaneously enthusiastic. Their lucky number would be 1, 6, 7. Their lucky color is gold, silver, and grayish white. Their lucky flower is a bleeding heart, glory bower, and dragon flowers. And their lucky direction is east, north, and south. Now, if someone was born in the year of the snake, they are considered to be, you know, intelligent and wise and have a lot of personality about them. Their lucky numbers would be 2, 8, 9. Lucky color is black, red, and yellow. And the lucky flower is the orchid or cactus. And the lucky direction is east, west, and southwest. So it goes on for each one of these different animals, all have different qualities to them. And so it's really quite interesting. If you are interested in this, you can go on to our blog and you can see where we have written about this and gone through each of the different animals and, you know, which animal has which type of qualities to it. You know, the Chinese New Year time is really a very important time. And, you know, a lot of times in the West, we may not understand, why does this change every year? You know, because we have Christmas, and Christmas is a major holiday for many countries in the West. And yet Christmas is the same every year, December 25th. No matter which day it falls on, it's always December 25th. Christmas Eve is always December 24th. But the Chinese New Year changes, and the reason it changes is because it goes by the Chinese lunar solar calendar, which is a completely different calendar. So in other words, you know, for the Chinese people, the Chinese New Year starts the year of the Chinese calendar, and then the Chinese calendar would go all the way past our New Year time and on into January or February the following year. So each year in the Chinese calendar would not necessarily all have the same days because it goes by the lunar and it goes by the sun. And it's also the time too where if you've lived in Asia, like I have, I've lived in South China for quite a while, you know, suddenly after the Chinese New Year time is what we call springtime comes in, and where you sort of have this wetness about it, where everything's sort of wet and it's sort of a real springtime. So that also has to do with the lunar solar calendar when the springtime comes in. If you have a chance to go to Asia and see some of these celebrations and to celebrate with some of your Asian friends, this is a great opportunity to be able to learn some about the culture and to learn some about Asia. You know, the Dusty Roads podcast and our blog, A Bus on a Dusty Road, is all about living life as a global citizen. We recommend that anytime you have the opportunity to live life as a global citizen, that you go out and you discover new countries, new cultures, and you go out and meet new friends. This is Anita from the Dusty Roads podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we really do appreciate you. We'd love to have you subscribe, be part of our community. We also have written a blog about this, the Chinese New Year background and guide. So if you'd like to see which animal you are, the quality of the different zodiac animals, you can go on there. We have quite a bit written up about that, and you can also learn a little bit more about the Lunar New Year. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for our team who helps put these podcasts together.